Okay, I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the Lower Macungie Township Board of Commissioners to order. If we could all please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. As far as the roll call goes tonight, everyone who's expected to be here is here. Our engineer, Brian McAdam, is on Zoom. Commissioner Ronald R. Beitler is absent. There are no agenda modifications under announcements. Number one, an executive session was held after the September 25th, 2023 workshop to discuss litigation. 5.2, donation presentation from Lutron to Emergency Services, presented by Andy Hines. Want to just come on up? Yeah, wherever you want. Wherever there's a microphone, would be great. And then when you're done, we're going to stand over here in front of those chairs, and Renee or Bruce, one of them, probably going to be Bruce, so it won't be a good picture. He's going to take a picture.
That's fine. Okay, thank you very much for having us here. Every year we do like to present donation from the Lutron Foundation. So we have a $1,000 for the Macungie ambulance. Sure. And $2,000 for Lower Macungie Fire Department. I also want to introduce our plant manager who runs our facility here in Lower Macungie, is Juan Brenes. You know, it's traditionary. I'll come and I'll always bring the guy that runs the plant. I think it's important because he's the beneficiary of the services that we receive. But we do appreciate the volunteerism that comes out of the local EMS here and the great work that you guys do, and we really appreciate the services.
Well, thank you very much. As always, it's a wonderful donation every year to help out our emergency services. So thank you.
Thanks.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
There you go. Hold the checks.
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure if I am able to depart or not. Is 13.1.8 getting discussed tonight, or is that getting?
Nope. That's old business. So
okay.
Nothing tonight.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay, there are no hearings and approvals this evening. This is the time for public comment on non-agenda topics. Seeing none, there is no communication to report. Item 9, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. 9.1, consideration to fill the vacancy on the Planning Commission with a term to expire January 1, 2025.
Yes, commissioners, we had a resignation on the Planning Commission. John Hammer resigned, and then we took 60 days and collected applications. There were no additional applications other than the 3 that we already had on file. That was for Michael Siegel, John Simonich, and George Dowdy.
I move to appoint George Dowdy to the Planning Commission.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Okay, motion fails for a second. Are there any other motions?
I'd make a motion that we authorize the township manager to solicit for additional applications.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to re-advertise for more candidates. Is there any commissioner comments or questions?
I'd just like to point out that we did get a letter from the chairman of the planning commission, again, stating his request as well to seek additional applicants for the position.
Okay, any other commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Moving forward, item 10, approval of minutes from previous meetings, 10.1, September 7th, 2023.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 10.2, minutes from September 21st, 2023.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approval of transfers, bill list, and payroll. Mr. Beidle.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your consideration this evening. The general fund, $1,028,930.82. The sewer fund, $198,329.58. The capital projects fund, $343,316.66. The payroll, $571.26. The developer escrow, $70,227.12, for a total of all funds, $1,809,375.44.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bill list, transfers, and payroll. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And as always, our full bill list can be found on our website. Okay, moving on to departmental matters. 12.1, engineering. Engineer McAdam, you have anything for us this evening?
Nothing for this evening, Mr. President.
Okay, any questions for the engineer? Okay, 12.2, planning. 12.2.1, authorization to advertise and refer out to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, the Southwest Comprehensive Plan Partners, and the Lower Macungie Planning Commission, an ordinance amending the official map.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 12.2.2, authorization to advertise and refer out to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, the Southwest Comprehensive Plan Partners, and the Lower Macungie Planning Commission, an ordinance amending Chapter 27 zoning, Part 19, Environmental and Historic Protection and Preservation, and Appendix 27A, Flood Hazard Area Overlay District Restrictions, Part 4, Technical Provisions.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions? Any public comments or questions? Yes, please. Julie, come on up to the microphone.
Julie McDonald, Fresh Meadow Drive. I understand the acquisition of development for open space is the township has interest in acquisition of that. Then what is the difference between lands to be acquired for parks or for open space? Is that, we have full intent of that, or?
So lands to be acquired for parks would be potentially for future park expansion. The open space would be either for open wooded space
So those-
or active agriculture.
But those both then are also, we have interest in acquiring it. There's not.
Interest.
Okay.
Yeah, so when
the
you're
wording was a
doing the
little
official
different,
map,
And I thought.
it
okay.
gives you the option
That
in
was
all
all. Thank
cases.
Thank you, Julie. Any other questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mr. Jones, is there anything further?
The only other item I have is planning commission is next Tuesday night at 6. Other than that, look forward to seeing everybody at the next meeting this month.
Okay, I did notice that they've started to make progress on the new Wawa on Route 222, old 222 Hamilton Boulevard.
They have, so it was a prefab building. So
Is it really?
Yeah, so they just had to prepare the site and then they were able to begin construction on it very quickly. So you'll see that site move along with some speed. Likewise, we would expect that Raising Cane's will be recording and beginning construction in the next couple of weeks as well. So
Excellent. Okay, moving forward, 12.3 Solicitor's Report, Solicitor Bruman.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President.
Okay. Any questions for the solicitor? Item 12.4 Township Manager, 12.4.1 consideration of 2 traffic signal applications, TE 160, to add preemptive devices at the intersections of Cedar Crest Boulevard and Riverbend Road and Cedar Crest Boulevard and Lower McCungy Road. Mr. Beidle.
Thank you, gentlemen. As we discussed at the workshop in detail, it's necessary that we submit these TE 160 forms to PennDOT to be able to make modifications to the traffic control signals as part of our preemption plans to implement that throughout traffic lights. This is what this entails with these 2 considerations.
Move to approve.
Okay, I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any commissioner comments or questions?
In 2017, I was in an ambulance with lights and sirens flashing and realized at that point that those 2 intersections were not covered. I indicated to the driver of the ambulance that I would see what I could do, and it's taken a while.
Only 5 years. The speed of government, it's great.
So anyway, yes, I definitely support this.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Beidle?
I just wanted to thank staff for their assistance with the budget. The document, the draft document's been completed. We have it for the board this evening for you to start to review. And then just to remind the public and the board of our 3 budget workshops coming up, as you'll see in item 14. So October 12th, next Thursday, October 16th, the Monday following, and then the 23rd if needed. And if not for the budget, then for the regular workshop meeting. So unless there's any other questions for me, that's all I have.
Any other questions for the township manager?
Yeah, I have.
Yes, Commissioner Rob.
Okay, so actually it relates to item 13.1.8, the agreement with Borough of Macungie. And I noticed in the bill list tonight, there is reimbursement for false alarms for the fire. Should a provision for that be put in the agreement so that the borough also reimburses for false alarms?
In some original conversations we had with the borough, I explained to them that process and that it may be something that we would ask the borough to look at. They would have to adopt an ordinance for false alarms, and so that they could have billing then for those false alarms, which I don't believe currently exists. They were going to find more information about that in the fire inspection program that they may or may not have there and get that back to us.
Okay, so it hasn't slipped through the cracks or anything. It's still actively.
Correct.
No, I would say it's safe to say that that agreement's really nowhere near close to being completed.
Correct.
What I thought. Okay, any other questions for the township manager? I was seeing none under old business. Is there any old business this evening? Is there any new business this evening? Okay. Item 14, Board of Commissioner reports. 14.1, the next regular board meeting will be right here in this room, October 19th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Our next budget, and our budget workshop, the first of possible 3, will be held October 12th in this room at 6 PM. Also October 16th, and if needed, October 23rd at 6 PM. We did not have an executive session before this meeting, and we are not having one after. And with that, we are adjourned. 15. Lori wins.
It was the presentation. They always.
They always screw it up.